do our meditation. So, I gotta set you guys up on a candle. Hey, hey. A candle like that. Let's see. Oh, you're not gonna be able to see me like that. Maybe, let's see. Like, oh, this is hard. Looky there, looky there. Yo, what's up, family? So, it's Nicole. Welcome to my channel. If you haven't subscribed already, what are you doing with your life? Hit the subscribe button, ring the notification bell, and become a part of the squad, the recovery family. Yeah, the clean and sober crew, the doing what we do crew. Okay, like we're trying to do it one day at a time, you guys, 24 hours a day. Hey, Kim. We're just trying one day at a time, you know what I'm saying? Sometimes we might fall back a little bit, sometimes we might not. But only thing that matters is if we just got to be honest, you guys. Like, we can't build our recovery if we're not being honest, and that's the number one thing that I try to do every day is be honest about what I'm going through with you guys, tell you if I'm struggling, and keep it real, you know? When we're in our active addiction, we're taught to be ashamed. We're taught to be quiet and not tell anybody. It has to be a secret. But that's not how it is. Like, when you're trying to get sober, if you haven't gotten sober yet and you're out there and you're trying to get sober, you need to tell everybody you can come in contact with that you're trying to get sober. So that way they can support you. Do not keep it a secret, because I'm telling you something, like, when you feel that shame to not share with somebody, that's your addiction. Your addiction's telling you to keep your addiction a secret, because that's where our addiction thrives, in the secrets, in the back, in the darkness. You know, the back row where nobody wants to sit, that's where addiction's sitting, back there in the very back. Sobriety's sitting on the front row of the classroom, front and center with the teacher, eyes bright and white, ready to learn. Addiction sitting back there creeping, trying to sleep on the class, trying to cheat on the test. That's what addiction is. So, do you like that? I just came up with that off the top of my head. Anyway, guys, today is the 24th, was going to be Wednesday, so that means today is the 21st. No, 22nd? Yeah, 22nd. It's today, Monday, and let's do this. Let's read the AA thought for the day. So, second, I am content to face the rest of my life without alcohol. I have made the great decision once and for all. You hear that? The decision. We all have to come to a point where we make a decision. Like, I can no longer go on like this, and I cannot use drugs and alcohol. I have made the great decision once and for all. I have surrendered as gracefully as possible to the inevitable. Jails, institutions, or death, the inevitable. I hope I have no more reservations. I hope that nothing can happen to me now that would justify my taking a drink. No death of a dear one, no great calamity in any area of my life should justify me in drinking. Even if I were on some sort of desert isle, far from the rest of the world, but not far from God, should I ever feel it right to drink. For me, alcohol is out, period. Drugs are out, period. I will always be safe unless I take the first drink or drug. Am I fully resigned to this fact? So, I want to stop here and talk to you guys about reservations. For the longest time, for years, since the first time I ever hit foot in an AA meeting, which was back in 2009. Hey, Kim, when I was first getting out of prison. Remember that? When I got out of prison, that's when I first stepped foot in my first AA meeting. And from 2009 to 2015, I had reservations like a mother. I would say, okay, I would I would try to get sober. And then, but I still had in the back of my mind, this was my thinking, that I could pick up and use benzos like a normal person. And I could just take one or two. Or I could pick up and drink, you know, at a party and just drink one or two. But it is never that way, you guys. Like, anytime I've ever picked up, it was never just one or two. It always led to 3, 4, 6,000, or a car accident, or a fight with a loved one, or me losing my job. And after that happening so many times, after me having reservations and going back out on those reservations and using, and then realizing that I could not control my using and drinking, like every time I would pick up, I would lose control. Let's just say this, I might be able to keep it together for a day or two. I might even get high one day out of the week and not get high for the rest of the week, and then do that one more time. But eventually, it always caught up to me. It always came and kicked me right in the front of my face, in my teeth. You guys, every time. And I would think, oh, well, you know, I can do it. I can do it this time, because this time I'm not going to drink and take pills. Or I can get high this time because I'm only going to snort the meth. I'm not going to shoot the meth. Or I'm going to get high this time and I'll just take Xanax with no alcohol. And it didn't matter what combination I combined. It didn't matter whether I did this or not did that. It would always take me back to the beginning, which was jails, institutions, and death, demoralization, where I lose everything that matters to me. All my morals and values go out the window, and I'm over here looking like a freaking crazy person.
Can you go change me, because we're going to the park?
Yeah, hold on, I'm getting ready for work. You have to have your dad change you. Every time, you guys, and every time I thought that I could just fight it, you know, that I could beat the game. And that's every alcoholic and addicts. That's all of that's all of our great ideas. We all think that we can somehow beat addiction.
Mom,
and
don't look at me, because I'm going to try to change myself.
Okay, we all think we can beat addiction and overcome it successfully. But
okay if I close the door?
that's the great illusion that we all are trying to get towards when we're in our active addiction. It's an illusion, you guys, because addiction is cunning, baffling, and powerful. It will beat your ass every single time.
Just help me.
Yeah. Pause. Hold on. Here, take this to your dad and have him get you dressed. Here. Huh? Baby, you can hear it. It's kind of chilly outside, so let's put on these. There you go. Take that to Daddy.
A long sleeve shirt.
There you go. There's your geckos.
A long sleeve shirt.
And that. And you can wear a jacket with it.
That long sleeve shirt.
No, it's not. What?
I can wear that again.
What, your head get stuck? Okay, you can do this part. Put your pants on. Nate. Okay, there's your shirt. Good job.
I don't know why.
Tag goes in the back. So that's every alcoholic addict's, that's our dream, our illusion. That's what we think, okay, I can do this. I can drink and use successfully, and nothing bad will happen this time. You know, and it never works out that way, you guys. And tell me, have you guys had it where it worked out like that? And if it did it stay like that? Because that's the key.
Mommy!
It might have went like that at first, but eventually it always brings us back down to our bottom, you know? And that it's really hard to come to terms with the fact that we can no longer do something that we wanted to do. It's like, it makes you feel less than. It makes you feel like, okay, like we should be able to control it. I know, guys, believe me. Because for the longest time, I thought I should be able to control it. Nate! Neil. You know, I for 10 years, you guys, I tried to get sober. And I tried to beat addiction and alcoholism and use successfully without ruining my life. And it never, ever, ever worked out, you guys, because I'm an alcoholic and I'm an addict. And if you guys are real alcoholics, real addicts, you will not be able to either. You will not be able to beat the game. Beat the game that addiction throws up in our faces and says, come on, you can do it. Just try one more time. And every time we try, we get fucked. Excuse my language. We get screwed, you guys, okay? And so what I'm trying to help you guys with is to surrender. If you haven't surrendered yet, I'm trying to help you to surrender. I'm trying to help you to see that you're not going to go anywhere until you surrender and say, you got to tap out, you guys. You got to wave the white flag.
Mommy, are you going to help me or not?
Go get your clothes and take them to your daddy. You got to wave the white flag, you guys, and say, I'm ready to stop. And then when you say, I'm ready to stop, then you have to take action. Because stopping takes action. It takes doing the right thing opposed to doing the wrong thing. So if you stop and you sober up, eventually those thoughts are going to start coming into your mind. Because that's how addiction works. Addiction centers in the mind. It centers in that mental obsession in our mind. Okay, and it's going to come when you least expect it, and it's going to start tempting you. That's just the way it is. I don't know how it does it. I don't know how. The brain is such a powerful muscle. I feel like the brain has muscle memory. So the brain remembers how good it felt to be high. Just like I talked to you guys about euphoric recall and how our brains only remember the good feelings. Our brains don't remember the bad shit. Hey, Bobby, like whenever we got arrested, our brains don't remember that. Our brains don't remember when we came home fucked up out of our mind and we got kicked out by our old man or our old lady. Our brains only remember the relief produced by alcohol or drugs. And that's called euphoric recall. That's how our brains work. We have to practice doing the right thing one day at a time, you guys. Nate, I'm not going to tell you again to go ask your dad. Neil, get up and help him, please. It's one day at a time. We just got to take it, and we got to fight that feeling. Okay, let's read on. Okay. Day by day, we should slowly build up an unshakable faith in a higher power and in that power's ability to give us all the help we need. By having these quiet times each morning, we start each day with a renewing of our faith until it becomes almost a part of us and is a strong habit. We should keep furnishing the quiet places of our soul with all the furniture of faith. We should try to fill our thoughts each day with all that is harmonious and good, beautiful and enduring. Prayer for the day. I pray that I may build a house in my soul for the Spirit of God to dwell in. I pray that I may come at last to an unshakable faith. Okay, so I know y'all are probably going like, what does faith have to do with getting sober? Okay, so part of the program that I work, which is a 12-step program, you guys, in that program, I had to identify a power greater than myself that I could talk to every day, that I could go to and pray to. And my power is God, but that doesn't have to be your power, okay? Let's get that straight real fast. But that's my power, okay? So I pray every morning and I ask God, I say, God, take my will in my life, guide me in my recovery, and show me how to live clean. Show me how to live today without picking up. And each day I have faith in my higher power that he's going to help guide me and keep me safe. Now, don't get me wrong. There's days where I'll come face to face with my dope dealer. Let me tell y'all a story. So when I first started my job that I work now, I had never been to one of my accounts. And one of my accounts is out off the street called Main Street, okay? Now, Main Street is where I used to meet my dealer all the time. And so I knew one day I was going to see him, you know? I knew one day I was going to run face to face with him. And he's the kind of dude that when I see him, he's excited to see me, especially after a long time that I've been sober, because he knows he's fixing to make some money. So I was driving out to my account, and I pulled up, and lo and behold, there he was, sitting in his car. Just sitting there chilling, waiting, I guess, on somebody to meet him there. And I got out of my car, and I hear, "Hey, Nicole." I knew right then, I said, oh, shit. I turned around, you guys, before I could even think about what I was going to say. I turned around and I said, I'm sober as a judge.
Black pants.
And I just told him.
Gray pants.
And he said, I can tell, because I'm all thick and stuff now. And when I was in my addiction, I wasn't thick. I was skinny, looking like an anorexic. Jennifer, she can come on here. Sorry, guys. Okay. Hey, Nikki. So, there he was right there in front of me, you know, and I could have taken that chance to go out and use. I could have said, you know what, man, hook me up. You know, I got a job now. I'll get you back on payday.
Oh, it's Monday.
Yeah. You already put the trash can out, Neil.
Oh, yeah, I put it over there. I was looking over here, and I forgot it was over there.
Lord have mercy. Anyways, somebody forgot what he did last night.
No, I just couldn't see it, Nicole.
So, so I saw him there, and he was, of course, talking to me, you guys, and this is what I did, and I'm telling you right now, like, the thought crossed my mind, ask him for one. But then another thought crossed my mind that said, think about your son. You'll lose your son. And when he left, I cried my eyes out because I was so scared. You know, but I didn't do it. And when I didn't do it that one time, that made me feel stronger, you know. And each time I ran into a compromising situation, I said no. And I worked through it, you guys. And when people tell you that you're powerless over drugs and alcohol, they do not mean when you're sober. They mean you are powerless over drugs and alcohol when you take them into your body. As long as you do not pick up drugs and alcohol, you can say no. You have the power to say no. You have the power of choice when you're not in your addiction. Now, when you're in your active addiction, you don't. And that's what people mean when they say you're powerless over drugs and alcohol.
Okay.
As long as you don't consume them, you have the power to say no. You have the power to make the right choice. And you cannot, I mean, real talk, you guys, when we use, it's because we choose to pick up, especially after a long period of sobriety. We make a conscious choice to do it. You know what I mean? And it sucks because we'll make up every excuse in the book. We'll say damn near the pills fell out of the sky and landed in our mouth. You know? And it's not that way. It's that we made a choice. And that day we chose to pick up, you know? And that doesn't mean that we have to choose to pick up the next day, though. And that's the thing. Like, hopefully, the more times that you lapse and you pick up, hopefully each time you'll put more time of recovery in between each lapse. And then eventually, because this is how it worked for me, eventually I got to the time where I had 3 years sober.
Yeah.
But it took many, many times of relapsing. Many times. I probably relapsed 150 times, you guys. Like, I would try so hard, and then I would go back out, and then I would... But the thing about it is, it's like, if you go back out, just don't stay out. Get back up, dust yourself off, and start over again. That's what you got to do. You got to ask for help and start over. there's no shame in asking for help. But if you can't get honest and ask for the help and tell somebody you're struggling, then you need to reevaluate what's going on in your life and stop being afraid. There's nothing to be afraid of. We're all junkies. You know, we are all junkies. We all know what it's like to relapse. We've all been there. So just don't be ashamed. You know what I mean? And if somebody's trying to shame you, you tell them to call me and I'll talk to them. Because there's no shame, you guys. There's no shame in relapse, okay? The only shame there is in not asking for help. That's when you need to be ashamed of yourself, because that's when you need to be ashamed. Get up and ask for help. Quit being a pussy. That's what it's all about. Get up, ask for help. Let go of your pride. Let go of your pride. Pride will keep you sick and in your addiction. What's that saying that they say? Pride goeth before the fall. Excuse me, that was disgusting. Sorry, guys. I had to clear my nose. Your pride will cause you to fall, you guys. And I don't want anybody on here to fall. And if you're falling, get back up. The first step is admitting, okay? So if you've fallen and you're struggling, you guys, say, Nicole, I've fallen and I'm struggling. Can you help me get back up? You know, and then let's make a pact and let's make an effort. And I want you to start planning your day. One day at a time, just start planning what you're going to do, because that'll help keep you accountable. Do you understand? That's going to help you keep you accountable and help you stay sober. And I'm talking all the way down to the hour. Plan your days 1 hour at a time. Plan your days to where you know what you're doing every hour. So that way you have no time for the devil's playground, right? You have no time for your mind to wander. And then once you get strong enough and you've been practicing that schedule for so long, it'll become a working part of your mind, you guys. It'll just be habit. It'll be habit to do the right thing. And then you won't be tripping. You won't be relapsing no more. All right? Yeah, that's right. Because our ego is what's going to keep us out in our addiction, you guys. Our ego is what tells us you don't need these people. You don't need help. You just need to, do it on your own. That's a damn lie. Lie from the pit of hell. Don't believe it. That's the devil. That's the devil. That's your addiction. Whatever you want to call it, y'all. That evil shit is your sickness. And that's where the addiction is. In that ego. So, we had a good talk this morning. I love you guys. I got to get off here. I got to get to work. I will see y'all when I get off work. Hope you guys have a great, great day. If you have anything you want me to talk about next, if you want to talk about relapse prevention, if you want to talk about just how to make schedules for your day, put it in the comments below and we'll work on it together. All right, guys. Bye.